Hola familia, it's your favorite Puerto Rican Brooklyn Philly here, back with another daily check-in, a space where we intentionally create um, the opportunity to address, right, acknowledge, validate, feel, and process our emotional state. I want to take this opportunity to thank Spirit and our ancestors and our guides for this presence during this, for their presence during this reading, their light, their love, and their protection. Right? No weapon formed against us shall prosper, and nothing that does not belong here shall enter because it has not been invited. And without further ado, we're just going to jump right in. I'm going to pull overall theme card centering where the emotion, okay, maybe wanting to focus upon. And we got, I just heard A Day at the Beach. Right, so we have this image of this child, you know, mouth is open. Oh, look at this. He's not too happy, it looks like. He's a little surprised because his castle has crumbled, right? And it's interesting, there's two flags, and only one flag is remaining atop of the castle in the other half. And I just literally heard divorce, separation, broken home. So maybe some of you are experiencing either memories of childhood, or currently experiencing a breakup in a relationship, in a home, a separation. And by the look of his face, it came quite surprising, right? This was, it was not expected. It was not anticipated at all. And this individual does not seem pleased about it either, right? Yeah. Angry. Yeah. Angry. And she's squeezing this pillow, right? And clenching her teeth. And I suggest you scream, baby. Overwhelmed. This situation either has left you overwhelmed, or if this is not currently happening in like the literal current space, this is the emotions that are bottled up inside from maybe a prior. So maybe you did have a breakup and you never processed it. You and that's not, Tia Shade is just acknowledging that, maybe you didn't have time, I'm hearing, to process, the breakup, the separation, the release, I just heard, the divorce, right? Whether this was something from childhood or recent. And I'm hearing even if it was recent, it brought up childhood triggers and memories that have left you happy. But I just heard recovery, right? I just heard recovery, right? So, what I believe this is saying is that this situation, although it may have brought up, right? Maybe it was very shocking, very uncalled, unsuspecting, took you by surprise, very alarming, left you very angry. Now I'm hearing someone was ghosted. Yeah, maybe you experienced a ghosting situation. And again, it doesn't always need to be romantic. It could have been a best friend, um, or someone else significant, right? And again, if it's for a child and we're talking about divorce, they may be feeling surprised that, one of the caregivers moved away, left. And in some cases, ghosted the family. So there's this feeling, this anger around abrupt separations, right? So even if for you doesn't dive that deep into any of those scenarios, for you there's something about a dysregulation, an emotional dysregulation that you feel, and then most of us feel, right, when there are abrupt separations, right? Whether it be from a job, I'm hearing someone's living space, right? Yeah, you could have been kicked out, right? Evicted unexpectedly, or had to leave, flee. I even heard for some. But again, this reading tries to hone in on the emotions, right? Not so much try to figure out the actual details of the experience, because there's so many people and everyone, but we want to hone in on the emotional state, right, of each emotion that's being revealed here. And it is acknowledging the element of surprise, and possibly the anxiety, right, the fear, right, that occurs when such an event takes place, right? And then, now I'm hearing that like the stages agree, right? Then the anger, right? And then again, for some of you, you kept it in, you never shared it, you didn't share it with anyone. For some of you, maybe you had children, and you didn't want them to hear you crying and being so angry at night or whatever. Some of you didn't have a safe space like the one that is being provided here today, to just try to feel and acknowledge and validate the anger, right? Depending on the situation, there might not even have been time, right? If it was a job loss or something like that, you had to quickly move on and grab something else. And so there's an array, right, of reasons why, but it's come out and has also impacted you like that. I'm hearing that pent up anger is causing you to feel overwhelmed quicker than you would normally, right? So what I'm hearing is situations, encounters, experiences, right? At the job, or with people, or with family, or even with children, right? Or it's you feel your threshold. There you go. Of how quickly you devolve into feeling overwhelmed is quicker than normal, than usual, not normal. And for many of you, you finally are working on the recovery process of this, right? You're allowing yourself the room and space, hence why you're even listening to this message, because you understood that such impacts of such separations, right? Whether they're familial, friend, financial, in whatever realm, it did leave a lot of suppressed anger and pent up feelings of overwhelmment, right? And when you're overwhelmed, you can't think straight. You can't fully participate in life, I'm hearing, and create your creative self, right? Because another task, another to do on the list becomes too overwhelming, right? But I'm also seeing these cards as on the flip side of it now, right? Now that we've acknowledged what it would have been addressing, that You've learned to manage the anger, right? And one of the things that you found is helpful for you is to squeeze this pillow and maybe scream into it. You found that when you felt overwhelmed, you would hug yourself and use that as a form of self-soothing. You gave yourself permission to rest, right? And to heal, right? And of course, those pictures are limited in the way that they're expressing it, but it could have been other rituals that you're performing, other self-care options and opportunities that you've been diving into, and you're noticing, right? Now I want to smile, I want to say alhamdulillah. Oh, you're so great, Spirit, right? You're you're feeling like you halfway there. You ain't out that chair yet, but you there. You're almost there, right? And then now I heard you're even happy. Yes, you're able to be happy even while in the chair still, right? Because you know that the chair is just temporary, and not even a negative, right? Is there to aid and to assist and to allow for the rest when necessary. There's an acceptance, right? Possibly of all of this, right? And I'm just hearing congratulations, right? It's particularly for those who, had to literally go all the way back to childhood, because this seemed to be, what I'm hearing is a cyclical pattern. You've been encountering, situations where you've been left feeling like abandoned, rejected, and ghosted in several relationships or in several opportunities by friendships, or right, and you couldn't quite put your finger on it, right? And it had you very sad for a long time, right? You would feel this sense of sadness and loss and couldn't really pinpoint it, right? And yeah, that's beautiful. And look at the bottom of the deck of the theme card, which would have been this one. I didn't flip it till just now. He's now reading a book, and look at the picture in the corner. Baby, I just heard, don't worry. To be happy, right? Don't worry, but what I'm here and see here, he's in that comfy lounge here. He's no longer here. And I'm saying he because of the, but we're not reading energy, right? Because I'm hearing your past does not have to be your present reality, right? And I just heard we shall overcome, right? You will be able to, and for those of you, some of you already are there, you have been able to, even though you came from such an environment or communities or learning experiences that, taught you this, it doesn't mean you can't have this. And even what this may look like for you, right? It might not be with your biological family, right? But the point is, you will know how to be in relationship again, right? And relationships that are loving and kind and loyal and cohesive, cooperative, collaborative, right? Oh, that's so beautiful. Just want to pull a tarot card or two to see what advice Spirit would like to provide to us, whether it's either further illumination about the situation or how to further address it and heal it, process it, feel it. All right. That might have been the one. I apologize, Spirit. Let's do this again. But yeah, and I'm seeing in that picture that's an intact family, right? Both parental figures and the child, right? And whatever family and home and hearth means to you. Yeah, frozen, over angry, and overwhelmed. Fear over overwhelmed. SubhanAllah. And thank you, Spirit. You're so good to us. Separation over happy, interestingly enough. And at the bottom of the deck, liberation. And I just said, Viva la Revolution. I don't know why. Yeah. And very simply put, you know, I'm hearing from Spirit, ain't that deep. Don't take that long with it. That anger, right? Being pent up, you know, kept you frozen in time, frozen in that period, right? Here you are, for most of you, an adult, some of us in our 50s, right? 60s, but you're frozen in that stage of when that happened to you, whenever that happened, whether it was your first marriage, whether it was your first relationship, whether it was your household, whatever, you know, whether it was with the job, with the lover, whatever that experience, it kept you, the anger, holding on to the anger, not releasing the anger, kept you sad and angry, and it kept you in a frozen state, right? You've been operating, right? She looks put together, right? You know, but it has not allowed for true authenticity, for true life, true living. You know, this is reminding me of someone who gets frozen and says, you know, I'm whatever that process is when people cryogenesis. I don't know why I just heard that. They freeze their body or brain or organ. I don't know how that works, but to say that they're going to be unthawed later on in the future so that they remain, you know, alive. But it kept you, yes, alive. Oh yeah, I just heard dead walking, but you were dead walking, right? What's that song? How can you die if you ain't never lived? Confirmation, yes. And it kept you in overwhelmed in a constant state of fear, right? And it's interesting to me how these are doing like separations of two people again, almost, even though it's one face, but it's separating, right? It keeps you in this separate mentality, right? Distant, aloof, never really fully integrating back into life, right? With life, your life, right? I don't know. Now I just heard about those poor unfortunate souls from Little Mermaid, right? Interesting. And that's overwhelmed, right? So for many of you, you've been stuck in that fright state, right? For years now, for I just heard decades. Interesting. For some, right? And then now we have separation, right? But I see this separation as a good separation, right? This unbinding almost as well, right? Of these mummies, this mummification, right? So we've revived the mummy and now we're unbinding them and we're separating, right? Finally letting go, right? Letting go of that belief that this is all you deserve, this is all you'll ever receive, because you experienced this, and even multiple times you can never experience this. Now I'm gonna get cheesy and say the devil is a liar and the truth is not in him, right? You can emotionally regulate. You can find peace within and create it externally without. Right? This person is reading a book. They ain't worried about somebody cheating on them. They ain't worried about the finance. They're relaxing. They're reading a book. Just heard their favorite novel. And they ain't frightened and worrying over their family. They know it's intact and whole. Oh, thank you, Spirit. And this is going to be such a sense of liberation for many of you, and for some of you who are already, it's allowing. And you know, so I'm hearing some of you feeling like, you know, you there and you don't even realize you there, and it's like confirmation. Breathe, baby, you there, right? Liberación, it is yours. I'm just going, order. It's destined. It has been. It's yours. You deserve it. It's aligned, baby. It's in the stars. And I've been hearing a lot about that, about not just this 1212 portal, but literally since I think August, I believe, since back from that Lionsgate portal, over and over the message of the stars are aligned. There's something within your astrology chart. There's something about what is happening cosmically. So it's even so much bigger than you. You can't F this up even if you wanted to. But for many of you, you haven't been wanting to. You have been working on that and addressing and facing the anger and the fear, and right, and learning to let go slowly but surely, right, in your own time, and respecting and giving yourself the grace and the mercy and the compassion that was necessary and that is necessary and that will forever be necessary, that you deserve, right? Voyager, yes, yes. Okay. Yes, it has been quite the voyage, right? And yeah, I have to go back, Spirit. Oh, Lord. And yeah, it has felt pretty lonely. And you know, this person is voyaging in the cosmic sea, right? But again, look at that. There's been is aligned. You know, I know some people don't want to hear the word I'm about to use, but predestined, right? Predestined is yes. And you believe, you have faith, right, in yourself, in your beliefs, right, whatever those are for you, and you followed. You say, I'm gonna follow that North Star, right? Some again about that North Star again. We talking about Jesus, Yeshua, Isa alayhi Islam. The stories recounted around his birth and the star that appeared. A new star has just recently appeared back in September in our own cosmic skies. There's something about that, right? Star for healing, star for wishes coming true, star, you're the star, star. Nevertheless, liberation. And I don't know, for some of you, restoration, because this Voyager card always reminds me of that song, I'll always come back to you. I'll always, you're my lady. Oh, isn't that Voyage? Yeah, by Atlantis. A long journey, especially by water or in a spacecraft. Yes. A written account of a journey, especially by sea. A figurative term for a period of discovery, such as the first year of a relationship. He was a young sailor on his first sea voyage. In their little boat, they planned to voyage to distant land. The voyages of Marco Polo, right? Yeah, I don't know. There's something about that. And, you know, for many of you, that's what needed to happen, right? This separation, if it is talking now about a restoration in a family unit, right? Between siblings, between lovers, between best friends, I'm hearing, right? Sometimes it takes a letting go to come back together, right? And that was for someone. And now we're going to pull from a self-care, the Sacred Self-Care Oracle, since we're indicating that this is an intentional sacred space, right? I just heard from many, breathe. You know, you're hearing me. I'm the one that has to do the talking. You know, try while you're sitting there listening, even if you're at your desk at work or at the kitchen sink doing the dishes. You know, nudgingly and lovingly suggesting that you breathe while you hear, you know, the shuffling of the cars, the sound of my voice. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, right? And attempt, right, to make that a practice. Drink tea, yes, right? Baby, soothe the soul. Yes, you deserve it. Mamas, you deserve it, papi. right? You've been through a lot. You've done a lot of work. Once again, I hear them saying congratulations, you know. Core, one of my rappers here from Philly, I love that young boy where he says on Pete Snapper, one of his hits, where's my congratulations? And I tell him every time I hear that, baby, congratulate yourself, right? This is the purpose of this reading, self-validation, self-acknowledgement, right? Yes. So literally for some, a tea ceremony, maybe it's not tea for you, maybe it's a fruit smoothie, you know, or hot chocolate, you know, a cup of coffee, whatever it may be. This is spirit getting on me too. This is the second time Make a Vision Board comes out for me. In a reading that I felt that is also resonating for me, I should say. Right? And this person, I love it. They're putting it actually on their walls. Like, you know, I don't need no board. I don't need. So, you know, that's for those of us, because I'm guilty of that, who get, what's the word, wrapped up in buying the kit and trying to get all the trinkets and all the stuff together for it. No, baby, just create that vision board. Even if you had to take tape and stick it up on your wall. Right? And I just heard for some that would be better. Right? But maybe it's your favorite. I don't know. You know, some people like the Pinterest stuff. I don't know how to, you know, I struggle with the technology stuff. So, you know, for me, it has to be like paper and, you know. But, you know, if you're good with that, put it on there. Make it a screensaver on your phone. I'm thinking of that commercial with the two older ladies. I feel like her right now. She says, I unfriend you. And she goes to the wall and she takes off the person's picture from her wall. And the other old lady is like, it doesn't work like that. None of this works like this. Right? And I think it's about, oh God. Sorry. Yeah, one more, spirit, please. And thank you. Please and thank you. Oh, there it goes. Oh, health checkup. So for some of us, it's literally, you know, it's time for a health checkup. You know, go get checked out, right? Literally by a medical professional. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not here telling you what to do. This is the self-care oracle card that came out. And then for others, it's just Spirit's way of acknowledging the need for such a intentional space, right? And that's not to give myself any, you know, to tell you, oh, you have to come to this reading. No, but, you know, when I felt led to create these daily check-ins, health check-ins, right? It was for that, to do like a daily health checkup, right? But of our emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual state, you know, like a holistic approach, but to create it intentionally, right? So that I can also get into the practice of, you know, stopping and providing me that opportunity to check in with myself, to see how am I feeling, what am I struggling with today, what may be pent up, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think this is so beautiful, right? Yes. And to close out, wait, let's at the bottom of the deck, burning bowl ritual, right? For some, this is something that is being asked, suggested to you, right? And it's very simple, right? You're literally going to write down things, since we've been talking about letting go, that you would like to let go of, putting them on a piece of paper. For some, I just heard maybe letters that you want to send to people that you want to let go of, that in a sense of like closure now I'm hearing. But you write it out and you put it in the burning bowl. Please make sure that it's like cast iron or something that, you know, we don't want any fires. And you burn it away, right? If you know, I've done it in my kitchen sink. I've opened up the window from my kitchen sink, put it in a bowl in my kitchen sink, and done it right there, and then allow the smoke to, you know, be released through my window. If you can't get to an outdoor space, or, you know, it doesn't, yeah, and literally, it says on the card, on the paper she's holding up, to let go, right? So definitely, you know. And, you know, I'm hearing that should also be a part of like this, you know, check-in part, you know, of self, right? For those of you who are familiar with the moon cycles and resonate with that, we understand there's a time for waxing and then there's a time for waning, right? A time for planting the seed and the intention, and time for reassessing and then releasing what doesn't work and let go. So there's an intentionality again of making these things, yeah, my nose is itching, a consistent ritual, right? One where we take time to create a sacred intentional space, right? To check in, to emotionally regulate. We envision those things, right? During that state of what we would like to see manifest, right? Even though that word is so overused, but the desires of our hearts and what we would like to work towards, right? So it's really very much a moon ritual. I'm seeing this here. Then we do the check-in to see, you know, like almost a review of the vision, a review of self, right? And then burn and let go of what no longer is needed, right? That's beautiful. And I'm hearing that's a energy work in and of itself, right? That's potent energy work, right? Those steps right there. Okay, and now I want to finish out with, let's see, some inspirational affirmations, right? That can help us throughout the day, right? Because life still be lifing. Really, Spirit, I am at peace with my age, right? Each age has its own special joys and experiences. I am always the perfect age for where I am in life, right? And that's for my older ones, right? My old, you know, old ones from day one. I'm here for me, right? Yeah, we're not there anymore, and we can't necessarily go back to a lot of these places and times of where, yeah, but and I think the reason why Spirit is making that important is because I think a lot of the times this Western culture tells you that if you get older, you're no longer valid, you're no longer useful, right? Your life is over. You should have done these things in the 20s and your 30s. And I'm hearing, baby, you could be 80 and 90 still riding that motorcycle. What you talking about? I balance my masculine and feminine size. Amen. Amen. And I say yes. The masculine and feminine parts of me are in perfect balance and harmony. I am at peace and all is well. Right? I mean, this is what I strive for. This is how I close out all of my readings, right? Because it's reality, right? We do have both. Okay. And these two to close out. So this one flew out. Yeah, look at this. I release all fears and doubts. I accept myself and create peace in my mind and heart. I now choose to free myself from all destructive fears and doubts. I just heard for some, in the name of Jesus. And I am loved and I am safe, right? And for whoever needed to hear that, right? And to stamp it with that proclamation at the end. He said, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Listen, take the wheel. I ain't mad at you, baby. And then I let go of all expectations, right? I flow freely and lovingly with life. I love myself. I know that only good awaits me at every turn. Yes. That's why no fucks given, unbothered. I know it's all good, right? And at the bottom of the deck, I am willing to change, right? And that's what you have done. And because you have entered that mind state, that heart space, it is unveiling a whole new world for you, right? A whole new reality. And I'll read the back of that. I am willing to release old negative beliefs that are only thoughts that stand in my way. My new thoughts are positive and fulfilling. In case you want to screenshot that. Oh, not my name, Lord. And that is it, beloved. That is the message that wanted to come through for today's daily health checkup, check-in, right? I pray and hope, as always, that this resonates with you and it provides you the healing and understanding that you needed. As always, may the symphony between your light and your shadow, your feminine and your masculine, be the compass, right, to your greatest masterpiece, beloved, which is you. You are the greatest masterpiece, and we need you in this world. So, please remain safe, and until next time, beloved. Amen, Ashe, and Amen.